Okay, you guys, so like I said, I was going to do a follow-up on this men's financial celibacy thing. I wanted to know if this was something that other, races are doing beyond black men. Is this something that women are upset about? And, of course, I made the promise. I kept it. We're going to talk about how the women feel about it. And I'll talk to you guys a little later about whether or not other races outside of black men are doing it as well. But really, this video is just about the women. And oh my goodness, you guys, it is hilarious.
We laugh at the bill, but the numbers don't lie. Do the joke, do the mad moral financer. Moral financer.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the podcast of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch, and of course, take the time to subscribe to the channels of Pocket Politics and Moral Finance. If you haven't already, hit the notification bell so that way you guys are always notified when I go live, which could be at any time, any day, because it's random. And of course, so that way you guys are notified when the episodes are dropping. If you are interested in getting your zero-based budgets, built out, you want to find out where you are financially, go ahead, click the link in the description box to my website of Moral Finance, where for free on our free call, I will calculate your debt to income ratios, and I will also give you our free accountability sheet so you can keep track of what your spending is looking like every single week. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, speaking of finances, let's talk about financial celibacy. Now, you guys, earlier this week, I told you why I love this trend for men, why I think it's such a good thing. If men were just going to keep spending money on women and not really think about it, it's not in their best interest. Now, for decades, or at least I'm going to say for decades now, dating and relationships have felt like transactions, right? Like this is what the men are saying. It's transactional, right? Men spend the money and the woman put out because this is how they are showing their gratitude for the men spending all the money. And that's how it's been for a while, except, the women end up devalued and the men end up devalued. And everybody's participating in this relationship, if you would, by providing their highest of values. For women, it's our temple, aka our body. The scripture calls our bodies our temple. For the men, it's their resources, like their money. And they will put up the money and the women will put up their assets, their human assets. I'm being clever about it. Okay. And found it quite interesting. Then I saw this trend and I was actually a bit off because this apparently has been a thing for a little over a year now. I think it's just now that we're seeing all the content all over TikTok. Now, I did say that I wanted to find out if other men were doing this outside of black men. As it turns out, it is going across different races. It just happens to be that more black men are putting out the content, right? So this is why I see mostly black men saying why they are for being financially celibate as opposed to seeing white men, Americans, Hispanic males talking about this. I see mostly black men. And, there's a lot of theories as to why it's mostly black men in the content, but that's literally irrelevant for me as to why they're the ones making the content. Just fact. It's black men making the content. I don't know why it's them and not whites and not Hispanics, but it's definitely the blacks. And the women are not happy about this. Now, I said this earlier this week. Of course, they're not going to be happy about it. And their revenge is, well, if you're not going to spend the money, then I'm not going to put out. And I'm like, well, what I'm hearing is that dating is going to seem less, transactional. Okay. Men are saying I'm no longer going to put up the most valuable thing I have to offer, which is my money. And if I don't offer my highest thing of value, then you're not going to offer your highest thing of value, which means we can actually find out if we really like each other. We can actually get to spiritual connections, which is literally the point of dating and courting. We can remove all of the frills and just get to, do you even like this person? Okay. Is there a spiritual connection with this person? So low key on the societal, discipline, I love that men are doing this because this could be the very thing that makes women abstinent. Now I say abstinent, not celibacy, because celibacy is a spiritual thing. It's about a commitment and not necessarily abstinence is more, I say words are shall. Abstinence is more secular. Celibacy is more religious, okay, more spiritual. And men choosing to be more disciplined and more intentional with their money because they're leaning towards a soul bond, a pair bonding, a spiritual connection with a woman before they spend their money on any random woman, I think is remarkable because now women are less likely to put out if they're not going to get the money in return. Yeah, no, that means you actually got to focus on your attitudes, your character, right? No one cares if you got an Instagram face anymore. The men don't care. They are not necessarily saying that they're not going to sleep with you if you offer it, but they're not going to put up any money. in order to get it anymore. And so that's just on the, societal discipline thing, which is why I absolutely love this. Now, you guys, I managed to get the clip thing to work. So I'm going to pull up these clips of some women who talk about why they are upset about this. And just, my goodness. Like I said earlier in the opening, it was hilarious because I think the woman's behavior is absolutely retarded. Like, I don't understand why you have a problem with a man being responsible with his money, but clearly they do. So let's go ahead and let's just pull up these clips because it's something. These women are something. Let's go ahead and let's do that, shall we? All right, you guys. So this is it here, and I'm just gonna let it play. I will keep my commentary to a minimum. So I'll let each woman finish and then I will comment when they've said what they had to say. Okay. And this is really just training myself not to constantly interrupt them. Right. Let's go ahead and let's run it now, shall we?
Why do men be so offended when you ask them for money? I do not get that. That just indicates you're broke.
Y'all men need to realize is that I don't have to bring nothing to the table but myself. You have to bring everything to the fucking table.
She says
I don't have to bring nothing but myself.
Spend the money. If you're not trying to buy these things for her, then really you're just broke. No, woman, what it means is they don't know you well enough to continue spending money on you if they've ever spent a dime on you at all. Like they're just not trying to do that. And I think that's responsible because there's how many women out here that they're trying to go through to find out which one is going to be their wives and the mothers of their children. And I just can't keep spending money on every single woman. To the second broad. Let's fast forward. This lady right here. Like, first of all, you get on this camera and you looking busted. I hate to be offensive, but I don't hate to be offensive. Let's call a spade. You guys know me well enough to know. Anyhow, she's looking busted. There's no eyeliner, which I don't really care so much necessarily about the makeup, but my goodness, pick better lighting, maybe back the camera up a bit. Don't get in front of the camera. Like, would you go out into public like this? Like you look like a lazy individual. So to sit here and say that men have to put their best foot forward and spend money on a woman who doesn't even look like she's trying to be looking like a productive citizen in society, why are you out here telling the men that they got to spend money on you when you're not even trying to look productive? Like, absolutely insane.
As a man, if you're not willing to take a burden off of my shoulder, what are you in my life for? A man that doesn't lighten up my load can never be my man. Life is already a lot as it is. I gotta pay bills every month, take care of my mom, almost turning 30. It's just so much going on. So as a man, if you're not willing to take a burden off of my shoulder, what are you in my life for?
You ask a man to get your nails and your feet done or to put gas in your car or to get you some lunch. They put it in the same bucket as being used.
Okay, before I let her go on, let's speak to the chick with the afro. She says she got all these responsibilities and she's almost 30. Okay, so listen, lady, from one spinster to the next, if you are concerned that you're getting up there in age because you about to be 30, then maybe you should stop telling men to start spending money on you and actually start, fixing your character. Well, if he's not trying to remove a burden from my life, then why are you in my life? Maybe because he's trying to find a spiritual connection and look towards marriage. Like when you are married is when you should be looking to have him help you lift burdens in life. Like when did it become a thing that you're expecting men who are not your husbands to pick up your burdens? Like, when you're married as a union, you share the joy, you share the heartache, you share the good times, the bad times. Like that's literally the vows you take, right? Like he didn't make a vow to you. So if he's not taking the burden off my life, then why are you in my life? To see if you are worth putting up with your flaws. Should I even deal with whatever burdens you might have in your life? Like she said, she has to take care of her parents, her mother. Okay, that's a noble, honorable thing. Okay, great. Should a man take that burden on if he don't even like your attitude? Like, really? Come on. I'm gonna need you. Like, get your life. You got all these responsibilities. Okay, great. But you saying you pushing 30 and you're concerned about your age from, like I said, from one spinster to the next, because I'm 30, unmarried. Yeah, that makes you a spinster, yo. That makes you a spinster. I'm telling you right now, you need to get your priorities together. Maybe start looking at the quality of an individual and not by, measuring a man just by his wallet. Like, she irritates me. Like, just whole attitude is just freaking retarded.
You're 23, recently dating a rich 29-year-old. He's been taking you to expensive dinners, $500 plus. How do I get him to spend it personally? He wants to take me on vacation. Okay, so he's using you and enjoying your company, and he's spending money on you and him. Okay, so you can't count that as money spent on you. It's $0 has been spent on you. Zero. You've gotten free food. Okay,
Okay.
Free food.
I'm really getting irritated with these women. So he spent no money on you. He spent over $500 on dinner, but that's not him spending money on you. He's willing to spend for your plane ticket and your, hotel stays when you go on vacation. And that's not him spending money on you. That's what this woman is saying. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, no. If I buy my parents a plane ticket to visit me here in Texas, did I not spend money on them? Of course I did. That's how they would view it. If when I was 19 years old, you guys, my parents, my family, they all, participated and put money into like an account or something. Maybe not an account, but they raised money amongst them to send my twin sister and I to Panama so we could see the home country of our father. And I thought this was incredible. I remember having a conversation with my boss at the time, and he said, wow, you are incredibly privileged, and I hope you know that, okay? Because not everybody's families, put in money to send them to other countries, okay? Like, families don't just do that on a daily basis. They don't do that regularly. I hope you know just how blessed you truly are. Right, that means my family paid for me. That's them spending money on me. So what? If a man does the same thing for a woman, that's not him spending money on you? Like, it's just retarded. Absolutely retarded. You guys, I got to come out of this because they're irritating the crap out of me, and a girl got to go to work, and I don't want to go to work with an attitude. So I'm going to come out of this, okay? All right, you guys. So you saw that. You heard that. These women irritate me. Their way of thinking, their philosophy, it's just plain retarded, especially that last woman. If a man spends on dinners, if he spends on vacations, then he's just looking for you to be an arm piece. He's just looking for you to be someone that he can show off. He's looking for you to be a trophy. You are not actually benefiting. You just got free food. What? Like, that's just retarded. Like, are you kidding me? You think a woman can't spend to get her own nails done, to get her own hair done, to put gas in her car? No, I fully expect a woman, especially if you're 30 years old, that you can actually pay to do these things for yourself. But here's what the data shows, and we did talk about this in my, American Cleopatra series, you guys. Women are putting themselves in debt to do these things, okay? They're spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month to be the high-maintenance female. Yeah, now they'll spend it themselves, but they will go broke doing it, okay? Also, when we talked in the American Cleopatra series, that men are sick of it. They don't want high-maintenance women, okay? They want presentable. They want feminine. They want smelling good, clean, feminine, friendly, women. Like, that's what they're looking for, not high maintenance. Like, do you have, every single last one of them had bad attitudes. Every single last one of them. Okay. Oh, I don't need to bring nothing to the table. You have to bring everything, and I don't have to bring anything to the table. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Like, what? First of all, you got on that camera looking busted. You didn't even try to look like a presentable, productive citizen in society, but you sit here having the effrontery to tell these men that they got to bring everything to the table when you don't even look like you're trying, okay? If men don't want to, make you their burden or take on your burdens without having gotten the vow out of you yet, then they're just broke. There's no reason, no purpose for them to be in your life. Like, people, we've gotten so far from what the scripture is, what the scripture tells us to do. Sorry, I'm talking fast because, like I said, I'm very passionate when I see just how stupid women are. I love when I see Americans, I don't care if you're man, women, being responsible. I love watching Americans be smart with their money. Like, look at the time that we are in. If you like me, you Christian, you know what time, you know what part of the book we are in. Like, we are there. It's important that as Christians, we get ourselves together. It's important that as Christians, we start focusing on the things that are important. And to sit here and to say that if men want to be financially celibate, that they are not worth your time, well then, hey, it means that they're going to start withdrawing from relationships altogether. Because if men feel like there's no reason to be out here dating because they can't find what appears to be the unicorn, well then, they're just going to, continue to sleep around. Some may be celibate in all ways. Some might sleep with women, but not actually marry them, because you might find that broad who's okay with you not spending money on her, and she just wants to be a Samantha Jones. Like, she don't need you to spend money on her. She just wants to sleep with you. But even that might be difficult for them to find. I don't know how this is going to play out, but low-key, I feel like by men choosing not to give up their most valuable possession, which in this society, it's their money, then women are going to be forced to not hand over their most valuable asset, which is your temple. So I feel like they are actually, structuring our society to be more disciplined. They're being responsible, which is going, inherently make women more responsible, or not. right? You're going to find a lot more spinsters out here, which, low-key, if at least you're being told you're a spinster, because, I learned I was a spinster by watching old movies. Yeah, nah, you can't be 30 unmarried and think you still hot. Like, yeah, nah, you're a spinster. Like, get over yourselves, okay? You're pushing 30, you are 30, but you still got all these standards and how much money you want these men to be spending. Get your life, get your act together, get a name, get a job, get a life, okay? Get off of TikTok and actually go do something with yourself. Stop spending thousands of dollars to go get pum hair removals, fake nails, fake lashes, fake hair. Like, do your hair yourself. Go on the beach date, stroll throughout New York, Central Park, do that in Texas. You can stroll, you can have picnics. There's no reason why a man has to go broke over your dumb ass. Excuse my French, but it's retarded. Men know it's retarded. There are women out here who understand that that's retarded, which is why women like myself and others are applauding these men. And no, before these women say, oh, Arshel, it's because you're a pick-me. No, I'm not a pick-me. You can be a pick-me when you're up to 29. I'm 30. I'm spinster. As a spinster, I'm telling you, get a effing grip. You women are acting stupidly with your money. You want men to be stupid with their money, and they not for the craps no more. You don't just get to tell men what to do with their money like you their wives. And even then, maybe they should have some more control over the wallet, because I've seen that go awry as well when they were married. But that's a different story, because at least you married. You're trying to figure it out together. You don't got to take up your burdens, men. You don't got to pick up any broad's burden that is not your wife. I'm telling you that right now. I love that men are doing this. Like I said, the men were going to be thrilled. Women were going to be upset. I said that at the beginning of the week. They are upset. I love that there are a lot of women out here upset because, hey, it might mean they might, hit the cymbals, right? Hit them cymbals. Keep your legs closed. You might not actually be willing to sleep with a man who doesn't even want to buy you a Starbucks coffee. And men, don't buy her the Starbucks coffee. Find them diners. There are some where they will sell you a coffee for $3. And the cups are still throwaway. So I'm just feeling like this is fantastic. I don't care that the women are upset about this. Not all women are upset about this. In fact, a lot of us are really supportive of the men's decision. I love that men are doing this, okay? It's not because we're pick-me's. It's because, we know what it is to be broke, especially when you are the older female. Like, I'm the older female. Like, I get it, okay? I know what it's like to be broke and be broke over something stupid. For me, it was Broadway shows. For men, it's females. Everybody got their reason for why they broke, okay? And for men, it's females. For me, it was Broadway shows. I ain't fitting to do that again. They're not fitting to continue spending money on females that they don't even know, like, or even really care to be around. She's taking advantage of you. She's using you. And what's ironic, you got women out here saying that they're using you for arm candy, but you sitting here letting him spend all this money on you. Like, yo, you guys remember my story. I could have let the man buy my wine. Instead, I chose the honorable thing. I respected his hard-earned $11 and said, man, that is your gas. That could go towards a phone bill. That could be your laundry budget right there. Heck, that could be your cigar or pack of cigarettes. It could be anything else but you spending it on me. And I think that was being respectful of his hard labor, his money. And he was quite honored that even though I wasn't giving him my phone number, he was actually okay with that because I didn't take advantage of him. Stop taking advantage of these men. Men are not letting you do it anymore, which I think is fantastic. And not all of us women out here think that is, that this is a wrong thing. Go ahead and continue with your financial celibacy. 2026, it's the year where as a Christian society, we are getting our act together. And if there are some women out here, which from these clips you guys have seen, there are some women out here who are not about doing that. They're trying to stray you away from the path, trying to get you away from where the Lord wants you to go. And he removes people from your life. He will remove you from situations because you are not following the path, okay? He did it with me. He did it with people I know. He'll do it with you. Men, round of applause again. You are fantastic. Best thing since focaccia bread, okay? Love it. And maybe even coffee. I'll say best thing since coffee, okay? I'm going to take myself on to work, you guys. I love you. God bless. Have a good night. And, of course, because it's me, Kepla.